Yeah, exactly.
Like if it's doing its job, you're just like
You shouldn't
not
notice it
hearing
at all.
Exactly.
I should have got us some potato chips or something to snack on. By the way, speaking of that. Well, let me introduce the podcast real quick, and then I'll have you introduce yourself.
Sure.
I don't have a smooth or elegant way of introducing the podcast, but all I'm going to do is just look at the camera and say, hey, I'm Jim Schneider, and this is my video podcast thing. It's called Work in Progress, where I talk to my friends, people I know, about the work they do and why they do it, and what they love about it, and maybe what they don't like so much about it. But my guest today, right here, is somebody I've known for a very long time, and I'm going to just sit back and let him introduce himself. You can introduce yourself to me or the camera, whatever.
I'm Spencer Loucks, and I'm a writer, screenwriter, which is kind of it counts, but
Yeah.
and a comedian, and a bunch of stuff.
Copywriter, copy editor.
Content editor.
Uh-huh.
'Cause I'm bad at editing.
Uh-huh.
Of being like the comma should go there, but
Yeah.
I'm good at being like you should talk about that more.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a lot of different jobs in the creative field, and you're also an actor, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Do a little bit of everything.
What did you study, Spencer?
I have a degree in film from Iowa.
Uh-huh.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't get a film degree. Why
No,
not?
Film degree. Not from Iowa. Or well, it's getting better now. And now they have a screenwriting degree that you can get now, which is what I would have done probably.
Really? They didn't have that when you were
They
there.
did not have that. And it took because the writing program at Iowa was so good, and it's kind of amazing that they just didn't. That they recently were like, oh, we should start having our like writers like get involved in films because so many writers, it's like NYU and Iowa are like the two big like writing places of like if you were at the programs or the writing programs,
Yeah.
you could get
Iowa
representation and stuff.
Iowa
and they're just
Writers
like,
Workshop
oh,
is huge.
Yeah, and it's just like, why aren't we having them? Because so much of that is like having them eventually write screenplays, or like, and then it's like, oh, we should have been doing like, why aren't we doing this all along? So now I think a lot of times they are doing that now, where they're like kind of delving into that while they're in the writing. I could be wrong, but that's kind of what I heard. And it makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. A lot of people want to write screenplays, but
Sure.
right now, at the time that we're having this discussion, there's a writer's strike
There is a
happening.
writer's strike.
But I happen to know that you were writing today.
I was.
Why aren't you striking?
Well, because I'm not. Well, I'm not part of the guild, or I'm not in the WGA.
So no need to strike.
Yeah, I mean, I would if it was like a bigger. If I was like, and also it's like I already had this contract with the guy beforehand.
And so what are
He's
you
not, like, a
working
big
on?
company. I'm writing a screenplay, like a buddy comedy screenplay for a guy. But also the writing I was doing was also for my own thing too, which you can do that. Like I think
The Writers Guild will allow people to write. Yeah, they don't
They'd
have
be
to.
mad at me if I was like writing something for Paramount.
Right, like a scab.
Yeah,
You're not a scab.
No, this is me being like writing something for an individual.
Yes. So you are not now, and you have never been a scab.
I've not been a scab.
Okay.
No,
Good.
Not
Good.
Yeah.
I was happy to see you working when I met you at this office today. And wait, did I ask you if you're an actor already?
Yeah, you said I was. Yes, I am.
Yeah. And you like a commercial actor? Have you been in films
I've been in some
too?
commercials. I've done some indie films. I've been cut out of a couple indie films. It was weird. I was mad because I like rented the movie that I was like. And it's like it's like a fight scene where I'm like I get in a fight with like the lead protagonist.
Did you get punched?
No, well, I punch him a bunch.
Oh,
and I'm like
man.
on top of him, and and then like the sheriff comes in and is like pulls out his gun, and is like, get him out of here, blah blah. That gets cut where it's just like it cuts from like when someone else punches the protagonist, it like goes like a jump cut to like the next day, and like so it was like.
That's a shame.
And my line got cut too leading up to it, so it was just like.
What was your line? You have an opportunity to say it now.
I go, this is like 2 years ago, but I kind of remember it. And also, right when I got there too, it's a whole story. I can tell you the whole story. Is like, so when you audition, you get, your sides, which is like what you say and what's happening in the screenplay. But that's like all I got was like a page of what I am saying. And it was like, me and this other guy are like drunks, and like someone calls, and it's like, oh, his wife's calling him something about like, we're betting on if he's gonna have to sleep on the couch or in the garage or something like that. And it's like, I've got $5 on it being. I didn't say it like this. I don't know why I'm saying it in this place that I said. But I was like, I got 5 on the garage or something, and then he like gets on the phone and I'm like, oh, looks like it's the garage or something like that. And then the protagonist like starts like talks to us, and we end up like fighting him. But all I got in the sides was the things we say.
Just the dialogue, yeah.
So then the director is like, comes up to me before, and he's like, so you are like, you know, you do a lot of like stage combat before and stuff. And I was like, no, what are you talking about? Because my thing cut off at me being like, looks like it's the garage. That's all I know.
Right.
That happens.
Right.
The next, 2 lines later is like a brawl breaks out, which I am at the center of. And I was like, I didn't know that I was gonna do this at all.
That's important information. That's key.
And the actor was like, because when we first threw like throwing punches, like afterwards he was like, hey man, this is like a legit actor. Like he's from LA and was like, he's been in things.
Good looking? Skinny?
It's fine.
Shorter than you would
like,
imagine in real life?
He's a character actor. He's not good, but he was like but it was one of those things where he was like, I think he was just like these fucking yokels. Like, actor. He was like, hey, I'll give you the nod.
Was it here?
Lunch.
Was it shot here?
He's in just outside. I'm trying to think of where it was. It was like a bar
in Iowa?
Just outside. Yes, in Iowa.
Oh, okay. So how much shooting happens in Iowa? Like films?
Depends. This was a pretty decent sized budget for Iowa now. Because like a decade ago there was a program where there was like really good tax incentives.
Yeah. And
then it got in trouble because people were
pilfering, milking the system.
Embezzling, I think is what was going on. But they just like froze it and then never addressed it. But like they were making real movies here, and like people in like Newton, where we're from, were like getting paid $100 a day to be extras, which is like $100 a day in 2012 in Newton is like not bad.
Not too
for
shabby.
like sitting around, for mostly just being like, I'm just sitting around and I'll go walk and be over there and like.
And it's kind of a like when you're from a small town like that, it's kind of like the experience of a lifetime too. I mean, it's something you can talk about for years and years. And
there was the Ray Liotta movie where he's like a lawyer. It's called like Ticket Out. That was filmed in Newton. Yeah. And my mom was watching it, and I was like, this is in Newton. She's like, what? And they like go outside. I was like, that's the courthouse, Mom. Like, the fact that she was like, right, you don't recognize the courthouse that was here? Like,
well, you don't expect to see it,
sure,
you know?
Sure. But
if you're not looking for it.
Too, because it was where the construction was. But I was like, that's like a very specific area. But you wouldn't think like, oh, that Ray Liotta movie was in Newton, Iowa.
So he probably ate at the Made Right.
Maybe.
And
I bet it's the best loose meat sandwich that man ever had.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Ray Liotta.
But that was one of the last probably ones, because like I said, there was legit movies, like bigger budget, I should say, not because there are still cool things being made here and stuff, just not as much like where LA, like Hollywood
feature
film company, like big millions upon millions of dollar films is what I mean to say. It's like, obviously there's still a lot of stuff that gets made here, but it's on a mostly smaller scale. Because there's not the tax, like people. That's why like Atlanta is becoming so huge. Yeah, is because the tax credits there are so good. Yeah. What was shot? The zombie show, Walking Dead, was shot out there. Yeah, probably. How about the show Atlanta? Stuff is shot out there. Is Atlanta shot there? Atlanta, I would guess. I would hope so. Atlanta, I would hope so. Yeah. Or even the movie Cedar Rapids. Shot in Michigan because they had better tax incentives. Yeah. Or the season of Girls, where they're in Iowa City, shot in New York, because you know how much the Bronx looks like Iowa City. Yeah. Huh. Yeah. Well, that's cool that you can, get the opportunity to do some shooting. Yeah, it's fun when those opportunities come around. Yeah. And when you have so many jobs, you do so many different things, how do you divide up your time? Like, when are you doing comedy? When are you writing? When are you acting? And it's something I've been struggling to get better with. Well, time management's tough. Yes. Yeah. And that's part of the reason. Yeah. I'm getting better at it, but I'm bad at it. I'm very bad at multitasking. And often I'm doing 4 or 5. Like it's feast or famine a lot of times where it's like I either have no jobs or like 5 jobs.
Yeah, right.
And I'm bad at being like, what do I do? I get overwhelmed easily.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. What's tough when you have multiple projects happening at the same time?
yes.
So do you try to just finish whatever the most urgent deadline is and get your money?
Or the thing that I like, if I'm like, I know exactly what I want to do with this. But usually, yeah, it's like, what do I need to get done right now? Or if I've worked with a client in the past and I,
You have a good relationship with them?
If I know that I can say, oh, is it okay if it's a little later or do you need it now and things like that. But, I get a lot of my stuff on Upwork, basically, which is good and bad because it's a whole thing.
And how do you get creative? Do you have a special like creative hat, or do you inject yourself with something, or what?
Where do you get your ideas from?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't know. It's there. You just
I can't write anything without some caffeine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need a little coffee.
Yeah. Coffee, Mountain Dew.
Code Red or what code?
No, just regular. Throwback if it's available.
Okay, the OG.
Regular is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't drink all the.
Wait, what's the difference between Throwback and
Throwback has
regular?
Real sugar in it, and then regular, it's all corn sugar now, corn syrup.
Oh,
It's
really?
Like everything. That's what the old same thing with the Pepsi where it says Throwback or whatever.
Oh,
that's
okay.
just real sugar.
Uh-huh.
Like everything else, I think that's.
It's like Mexican Coke, right? Like Mexican Coke has real cane sugar.
Similar. Yeah.
Okay. And where do you like to work? Because right now we're in sort of a co-working space, right? Where do you do your best work?
Wherever I have 12 hours to finish something.
Okay.
No, but yeah, this is good. Coffee shops I like to. It's just a matter of like cracking down on it because that's just like I think Stephen King has the quote about like the hardest part about writing is staring at the blank page for 5 minutes before you actually like is the not writing part of writing is the hardest part of writing is like starting. Yeah, that's kind of I'm a big believer in that because I never used to get writer's block and I've gotten brain fog and writer's block the last 2 years and it drives
COVID,
me fucking insane.
long COVID.
Maybe.
I was going to ask you, what's your preferred genre? So if you're writing something for yourself, what genre is it going to be?
Everything I write has comedy elements in it, but I believe that regardless of the genre, comedy in anything that's good is inherently there and more present than people want. Like people talk about like Mad Men and Sopranos and like Succession. Those shows are all fucking hilarious.
Yeah, Goodfellas is hilarious.
Yeah, Goodfellas. Those are comedy. Or like I rewatched. I don't know if you've rewatched Sopranos at all, but it's like
not lately. But
it is.
It's
65% comedy.
Yeah.
And as someone who is part Italian, like it is largely making fun of Italians a lot, saying words wrong a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Like at least once or twice an episode, they're like, yeah, it's like the thing, and then they say like a word that's incorrect.
Yeah.
It's like a 6th grade vocabulary word.
Yeah. Low intellect.
Yeah, it's weird. It's I mean that's part of its genius. It's like sometimes they're really dumb, but other times they like know business really well.
Very crafty.
They are. They'll like know like advanced like marketing business stuff.
You don't survive in that business if you don't have some innate talent.
But it's a comedy is and that's kind of what I get hired a lot to do is because it kind of snowballed where it's like especially on like Upwork where you have like a profile where it's like it shows you like what jobs you get hired for. So it's like you get hired for a couple of those and people go, oh, you're a comedy guy. And so then even it can be good for that, but also other people be like, can you write drama? Like it's you have to do all this comedy, and it's like to me that's such an asinine. Like I get it, and I know people have their wheelhouses of like I'm a sci-fi or I'm this, I'm that. But to me, like it's all just. It's like saying like, wait, you're happy sometimes, but you're usually sad. And it's like, yeah, we're all things.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense that people would kind of specialize, but. I guess that could make things a little formulaic as well, right?
Yeah.
In your own process.
And I get that sometimes people
want that. I think you can crank it out.
And there are people that are like only good in one thing.
Sure.
And that's fine. It's if you know your place and you know your wheelhouse, great. But I think it's like, I like dialogue. I like having fun dialogue, and like to me, you can put that in any thing. That's my biggest like I've wanted to do like more horror stuff because it's like I feel like horror. Same thing, horror and sci-fi. Always, and this is just me going on a rant now. Is like always has the best ideas, but is written so terribly so often. Like I feel like the writers that have great ideas are often like, it's like how George Lucas is like a great idea guy.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why he wasn't writing, the reason why the prequels like are the same thing with directing, where it's like, oh, this is why he didn't write a bunch of the actual scripts for like the Empire and Return of the Jedi.
Are you watching all the Star Wars shows on Disney Plus,
Yes.
Mandalorian and all those?
Yes.
I haven't seen any of the new stuff yet.
They're
What's
good.
the best one?
Oh God, this is gonna come.
Mandalorian?
Yeah, I mean, do you like westerns? Are you a western? Because Mandalorian's kind of
Yeah.
westerny.
Well, isn't Star Wars a western?
Sure,
That's what
it is
people
already
always
a
say.
western. Sure, but it's like
In
like
space.
Man with No. It's more like Clint Eastwoody western.
Yeah.
The Andor show, people like. I like Andor. It's a little bit more of a slow burn than everything else. Book of Boba Fett's good. Although Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorian are like basically like intersected so much that they're like almost the same.
Do they have
show.
the same characters?
Yeah, and like the second season of Book of Boba Fett basically comes like season 2.5 of Mandalorian. Like they're stylistically almost the same show.
Are there too many of these shows?
No.
Not enough?
There's the
Not
Bad
enough or
Batch.
just right?
The Bad Batch is also very good.
I've heard
It's
that's
animated.
cool, yeah.
And it's like, I watched like the Clone Wars animated series, which is really good, except there's episodes that Jar Jar is a main character, and that's
Ooh,
bad.
that sounds like a mistake.
But also,
hold on.
fucks in it.
Wait, who?
Jar Jar, it's insinuated that Jar Jar fucks some.
Really?
They like go to a place and there's like the queen is like.
He scores with the
really-
queen?
Like she's like Jar, like she's way into Jar Jar. I don't know, I can't remember if it's confirmed, but it's kind of like insinuated that it's like she's like Jar Jar, you stay here,
Huh.
because I want to have sex with you.
Is he better in animation?
No, it's like it's bad.
Huh.
But
Well, speaking of animation, I know you worked on something recently that was shown on IPBS, Iowa Public Broadcasting System.
My cartoon Sea Dogs was on. They do a show called the Film Lounge.
Yeah.
Where they like showcase filmmakers all around Iowa, and they like kind of interview them, and then they show the finished product. And our cartoon Sea Dogs got to be on that, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's like a 5-minute short right now, right?
Yes,
and you're
it's
developing.
a 5-minute short. We're gonna make a longer episode. And in my interview in it, the live action interview before they show it, you get to see me 2 weeks before I was diagnosed with vitamin deficiency.
Oh, really?
So I'm just kind of like, yeah, like I'm like a little. I mean, I don't look. I guess I don't look that much better now, but like
They look amazing.
I look okay. But like I was just kind of out of it, a little more pale, and so.
Well, you don't look deficient. That's one thing. You don't look like you have a vitamin deficiency. And you're getting vitamins now in this this beverage.
This is the first energy drink I've had in years.
Really?
Probably. Yeah, but
It's
got
not bad.
B12 in it. It's not bad. I usually don't I used to mix them with
Tequila?
vodka.
Yeah.
Like Red Bulls with vodka, which is a whole.
It's horrible for you.
It's not good.
Yeah.
No.
That'll give you different kinds of deficiencies.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to put the link for your cartoon in the description of this
Awesome.
video. So everybody should check it out.
Go
It's a
check it
5-minute short called Sea Dogs. It's really funny.
Thank you.
And it's really well animated. The animator is Lev, right?
Lev Cantorell.
Yeah, he did a great job.
Yeah, he's great.
You guys seem to work well together.
He works at Jackbox Games now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool. I don't know what.
You never done
Jackbox?
Jackbox?
No.
Do you remember? I bet you do remember. You don't know Jack.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That is now like a
It's a video game?
That is yeah, but it's like now it's like a company that's like they make all you ever heard of Fibbage or anything like that or They make like
Maybe.
party packs where now it's like instead of it being like a CD-ROM thing like it was, is now it's like just on you know PS4 or whatever, and then everyone's like basically your phones or your like controllers, so you can play like a game called like Fibbage where it's like someone's like which is kind of like Balderdash, but it's like. In 1974, you know, they had to shut down the airport because too many blanks were on the runway or whatever, and everyone's like, buttholes, you know, or something, and you guess which one's the real answer.
So is Lev animating for that company?
He works in the marketing department, so he did help. Although I think he's working on some of the, maybe did help on the game menus because their Jackbox 10 is coming out, which is like, you know,
they're up to 10.
It's 10. But I think he mostly does like commercial work for it. I don't know for sure.
Okay.
But he's good.
Yeah, and it's a fun short. I look forward to seeing a full length episode sometime.
Yeah, I'm excited.
When you guys get that up. Let me ask you to give some young writers a piece of advice. What would you say to the young aspiring creatives out there?
Don't look at me. I don't know. Go to LA probably.
Oh, okay.
Just keep. One thing that I was told was like just keep trying things. Someone was like just keep throwing darts because it's so hard to hit the bullseye. But it's like the more darts you throw, the more likely one of them's just kind of hit. In fact, somebody was saying that they had written. It was something for like Adult Swim where they wrote a pilot, and Adult Swim didn't want it, and then like 6 years later they were like, hey, we want to like come like they did. I don't think they ended up making it, but they were like, we want to hire you to like flesh this out, like develop it a little more. So it's like you never know what's going to happen or like. So just keep. I need to do that. I need to make more things. Make as many things as you can, and just keep trying.
Do the work.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's because talent's, you know, worthless if you don't do anything.
Yeah, right. If it's just squandered.
What I've been doing, I think until recently. I think I've squandered a lot.
Well, no, it seems like you're productive and you're doing things for other people. You're making money, so all those things are good. It's a tough job. What do you know about Canada?
A little bit. I'm 1/8 Canadian.
Are you really?
Yeah. You didn't know this?
And your
Ryan
brother?
never talked about this?
No. I don't think I knew that.
My dad's side, so his grandpa lived in Windsor, which is like a.
Oh, I know. I've been to Windsor. I went to a wedding in Windsor.
Detroit of Canada.
Yeah.
Basically. And he used to like just come to Tiger games every now and then.
Huh.
And then he found a lady.
Okay.
And then just was like, I guess I'm living here now.
He's American now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to expect you to get a perfect 5 out of 5 in this Canadian trivia. These are all true-false questions. You can answer true or false. If the answer is false, I'd like you to give me the true answer.
The true.
So, question 1, are you prepared?
Yes.
True. 1/8 Canadian.
Yeah.
1/8 Canadian. You're going to be embarrassed if you don't get these right.
It's in the blood.
Number 1, Canada is a continent. True or false?
False. It's part of North America, but it ain't the whole thing.
So it's a
country.
It's a country, yeah.
Well, you can be both. Australia is both.
Can be, yes, but Canada.
That's the only instance, I believe.
Yeah. Okay, question 2. So far, you're 1 for 1.
Yeah.
Canada is pronounced Canadia. True or false?
I would say false. It's pronounced the first way you said it.
Which is?
Canada.
You're correct.
Yeah.
2 for 2. Okay, you're on a roll. Question 3. Canadians frequently populate or finish their sentences with the word see, as in, I'm from Canada, see? Or, what do you think you're trying to do there, see?
I'd say false. You're confusing them with 1930s gangsters. I think you're thinking of James Cagney movies. Yeah.
I'm from Canada, see?
Yeah.
So that is false. What word do they frequently interject into
or yeah, sometimes. Yeah?
For example,
Oh, you're going to the game, eh?
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
So far, 3 for 3.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe this 1/8 story of yours. Question 4, true or false? The name of Canada's national anthem is Canada. See?
False. It's "Oh Canada."
You're correct.
Yeah.
All right. So far,
Our
perfect.
home and native land.
Do you know all the
That's
words?
all I know. I could have said, yeah, I know all of them, but I won't continue.
Yeah. We'll get a video of you singing later. Question 5. This is for all the marbles. True or false? Current Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has said that he can't recall how many times he wore blackface or brownface makeup after pictures of Trudeau wearing such makeup surfaced in 2019. Video of Trudeau wearing blackface makeup dates back to the 90s, when he would have been in his late teens or early 20s, and pictures of Trudeau in said makeup are from a 2001 yearbook photo of Trudeau, then aged, I think, 29 years old, at a private school where he taught, and a high school talent show in which Trudeau, then a high school student, performed the song Day-O in blackface. Day-O is a Jamaican folk song popularized by American civil rights activist Harry Belafonte, who passed away in April of this year.
Was it black? I thought it was brownface.
Sometimes blackface, sometimes
brownface. So he did it multiple times.
Is
So
it?
I'll say true. Okay, true then, because I thought so. It's multiple times, I guess.
That is true.
It's true.
He cannot recall how many times.
You know Castro maybe fucked his mom. You heard about that?
I heard something about that. Yeah.
She was like a party girl in the New York scene in the 70s or something.
Did she go to Studio 54
I think
and all that stuff?
Because his dad was he the mayor of Toronto or something? It was something
Pierre.
where they were adjacent to New York.
Pierre Trudeau. Well, Pierre Trudeau was a prime minister.
Was he okay?
Yeah.
There you go.
For a while.
I did not know.
Okay. Well, a perfect 5 for 5 score from Spencer. Congratulations to you, sir. I think you're probably right about that 1/8. I mean, you could even be half Canadian.
I could. I was looking at provinces and territories before, in case you asked anything about provinces.
I've asked some of those questions before, so I'm trying not to repeat the questions.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Well, let's finish it up there. Let me thank Spencer Loucks, and once again, you can take a look at Sea Dogs. The link is in the description for the video. It's a very funny cartoon. Spencer.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, James.
Okay. Terrific. You really did outstanding. And thank you for studying beforehand.
Yeah. I got an acronym for the provinces, at least for left and right.
What is it?
Well, for some, BASMO, British Columbia,